All right. Hey, it is still, what is it, late January, like the 27th, 28th of January. But some of you all requested that I put together a list or something for the Canada fishing trip. And so I went out in the garage and dug out some things I'm going to share with you. Let me look here. There is a packing list on the website that says rain gear, first aid, matches, compass, or GPS. Toby. Binoculars, fishing rod and tackle, appropriate clothing, flashlight, camera, paper towel, mosquito coils, insect repellent, sunscreen, blah blah. So let me talk you through this. What you should consider bringing, and there's sort of like the minimal amount of things that you can bring, and then of course you can just go as crazy with your fishing tackle and rods and reels and things like that you want to. But rain gear is a must. So as far as clothes, most of the time at this particular camp, your days are going to be in the 70s and your nights are going to be in maybe the 50s. But I've been there one time where we got off the plane and it was snowing, not sticking, but it was snowing, so it was cold. And so you want to pack layers for starters. The boats are nice. The boats have decks for your feet, so you can wear tennis shoes. A lot of guys will wear tennis shoes, but if you're out on the lake and it's raining, starts raining, it's nice to have some sort of waterproof boots, duck boots. Those are kind of a common fishing thing. They've got that rubber chain sole that does a good job sort of getting you traction if you have to jump off on a rock or something like that to take a whiz or something. Those are good for that. Also, the fish are really slimy. So if they come in the boat and they flop around, they're going to get slime all over everything, and you want some kind of shoe that can kind of bite through that slime. So that's good. So from a clothes standpoint, 2 or 3 layers. Like bring a set of long underwear, bring jeans or whatever kind of pants you want to wear, and then bring your rain gear. So that would be kind of your lower half, your top half, same sort of thing. A lot of days you're going to wear short sleeves. A few times I've been there and it's shorts weather, so you can bring a pair or two of cargo shorts or whatever. Just one of the things that always surprises me is we're talking late July, so if you're in Texas or Missouri or Oklahoma in late July, it's smoking hot. And when you pack, if you're not careful, you won't pack for 50 degree or a 40 degree day, and it can happen. Fronts come through, it can be cold, but generally the weather's really nice. It's like high 60s, low 70s, and for late July it's an incredible break from the weather. So back to the packing list. I think that kind of covers it on clothes. I generally overpack, which is a problem, so every year I take less and less stuff. But really, this is 5 days of fishing. Most of the time we go for 7 days of fishing, and usually on 7 days of fishing, 2 or 3 full outfit changes is all you need, because change your underwear, you got your long underwear if you need it, and then 2 or 3 pairs of pants, 2 or 3 shirts, a couple of long sleeve, 1 or 2 short sleeves, and then a jacket, and then your rain gear. So your rain gear would always be your outside layer, but you want to have 2 or 3 or 4 layers. And like this jacket is a really light little down jacket, and it does a fantastic job of insulation. Obviously, if it's going to rain, I'd throw the raincoat over the top. Always want to have a good hat. I bring 2 really wide-brimmed hats because you're on the lake all day. It's going to be sunny, certainly some days, and I like to keep the sun off me. So I might bring a ball cap and then a wide-brimmed hat, something like that. Because we have a cook there or people to help kind of take care of the boats and cooks and stuff, they'll have first aid. There'll be a satellite phone if we have an emergency, or you just need to call and check at home, after a few days or something, what's going on. Certainly the idea is to be off the grid and away from home and away from news and away from stock prices and things like that, and get a really incredible break and a special time out in nature and with friends and family, whomever. A GPS is always helpful. It's really hard on this lake to get lost, but if you're out, and they'll tell us, they'll want us in at a reasonable hour. It gets dark like at 10 o'clock at night, so you've got a lot of fishing light during the day. Generally you'll be tired at come in for dinner at whatever they'll tell us, 5 or 6 o'clock, and sometimes you run out for an hour or two of fishing after dinner, which I like to do. There is, great fishing in the evening. Certainly you just don't want to get way far away from camp and then lose track of time. But a GPS is helpful not only for that, but also for just marking where you're catching fish, so that if you want to go back to a sweet hole tomorrow or the next day, you want to do that. See, it takes you right back to it. Binoculars, that's up to you. There will be eagles and eagles' nests and beautiful things like that. So there are certainly things you can see with binoculars. We'll talk about tackle and rods and reels here in a minute. We talked about clothing, a flashlight. I'd suggest everybody bring like a headlamp. The camp is run on a generator. It's on an island. There's no roads to it. And so they run a generator for power, and a lot of times at night they turn the generator off. And so if you need to get up in the middle of the night, go to the restroom, go get something, whatever, it's great to have a headlamp. So everybody should bring a headlamp or some sort of a flashlight with them. You've all got your cell phones or a camera. There is no cell coverage, so you would put it on airplane mode and just use it as a camera or whatever. Mosquito coils. I'm going to show you in a minute what a mosquito coil is. Let me grab that over here. If you're not familiar with what a mosquito coil is, I've got a bag of them left over from one of our last trips, and if you've never seen these things, they're just these little pieces of whatever they are that are coiled up, and you break off a piece, you use a match, set it on fire, put it on a piece of tin foil or something on the table in your room. There'll be a place for them because everybody uses them, and then you leave. And you leave for an hour or something while they cook, and they generally create a smoke a small smoke in the room. But whatever's in the coil, whatever they're made out of, kills mosquitoes. And you will have to deal with mosquitoes. Usually not bad mosquitoes. The wind keeps, when you're out on the lake, it's rare to have mosquito issues. It's really only around the shore. This particular lake, I've not had problems with black flies. Black flies are a bigger problem than mosquitoes, just because of, you don't know when they land on you, and when they bite you, they put a anticoagulant in your bloodstream right there, and you'll just start dripping blood, and you won't know because you don't feel it, and somebody will come up and say, dude, you're bleeding down your face, or your throat's bleeding or something. You didn't even know, but you had a black fly there. And if you get into a lot of black flies, you can bleed a lot, and that's a problem. But generally I've not had them at this lake. Usually it's just an issue with a mosquito or a few mosquitoes in the bunk, in the sleeping rooms, or whatever called the lodges where we're staying. So mosquito coils are good. Everybody doesn't need to bring them, but if every 2 people brings a little box of them, they're cheap. They're $2 at Walmart or something like that. So those are good. I would also suggest everybody bring some bug repellent. Generally each day you want to have a bag that you put your phone in, and your tackle, and maybe if you make a sandwich for lunch or whatever, and you just kind of take that to the boat, and that's just your fishing bag. And so having a can of bug spray in there is very helpful. I'm trying to think what else I put in mine. I mean, you've got your lures. Maybe we'll talk about tackle here in a minute, but it's easy just to put everything in the bag. You take it in the boat. Then when you're done at the end of the day, you take it out of the boat and take it back to your room in case a storm comes through that night and fills your bag with water. It'd be a hassle, things like that. Let's see what else is on here. Sunscreen, really important. I bring, a bottle of sunscreen to wipe on your face. Head net. So I'm going to show you 2 things I brought out. Everybody should certainly have just a head net, which once again, they're like $2, $3, $4 at Walmart or various places, Bass Pro Shop. And it literally it's made out of this stuff. And it's just a net that you put over your head and comes down around your shoulders. And so if mosquitoes are trying to bother you while you're fishing, You put this on and keeps the mosquitoes off you. You don't have to sit there and swat them away and all that kind of stuff. Some people actually will sleep in a head net. I've done that. If the mosquitoes are really bad somewhere, generally not at this camp, but other camps, you can sleep in a head net so that you can actually fall asleep. Also, it's not on the list, but I bring a couple of pair of earplugs just because I sleep better when I'm in a room with a bunch of guys or something like that, with their earplugs if guys are snoring or whatever, like my brother, big snorer. So I didn't bring a head net per se out here. This is actually a bed net, and it is just that. It's got some little rings on it that you can use. If you brought a couple of thumbtacks, you can thumbtack it up to around your bed, up the bunk above you or something, and drape it over. You're going to keep mosquitoes and bugs off you at night. I don't know if I'm going to bring that this year or not. We'll see how packing goes. And then this is something that I ran across years ago, and it's just a little light, it's a little bug shirt, and it's got sleeves that you can see, so it's very lightweight, and on a 70 or 80 degree day, I won't be sweating in it, but you can see it's got a hood that if you got it on, you can have it just like a hoodie with the hood in the back, but if the bugs show up, mosquitoes show up, you pull this hood over your head, put it over your head with your ball cap or something underneath it, and zip it shut around the neck there, and you're sealed in, and so you don't have bug issues. So I'll probably bring that, or maybe I'll just bring a regular bug head net, whatever I run into. A lot of our stuff is in storage right now, so I'll just make sure I have that base covered for me. Let's see here. Do bring a towel, like a beach towel or something that you can use when you shower off. They may have towels for us. I know they're going to have sheets for us. So maybe a small towel or something in case they don't. I can check with them and clarify on that. Normal toiletries when you travel for a week. All right, so I'm going to transition now to fishing tackle.